Action. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Solid Podcast. We're excited to have you here with us all. Thank you for tuning in. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon Neal, with one of my other co-hosts, Jefferson Rogers. To my left, to my other left, Jeffrey Fieldstead. And to my far, far left, we have a special guest with us today, Mitch Fry. And if you've been tuning in lately, we've had some amazing guests. They just continue to be amazing. It's hard to get better and better when we have like the best guests every week. But I think Mitch might top them all. I don't know. Mitch was actually on
No pressure at all.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
Mitch was actually on our podcast probably 3 years ago.
Yep.
Something like that.
Out
So
at your house.
if you go back a ways, you'll hear some of his story there then. But he's had a lot of success since then. Sure, his family's grown and had a lot of success there. Got a great family, great business, all the good things we like to have on the Solid Podcast, as you all know, right? Living a solid life. So, Mitch, good to have you on.
Hey, I'm honored. That's what I was saying when I got here.
Yeah,
This is a special group, so grateful to be here.
Thanks for being here, dude.
For sure.
It's exciting to have you.
Tell us some things that have happened since we've had you on a few years ago. A lot can happen in a few years. Tell us what's going on in your life.
Yeah, a lot can happen. I got 3 kids. They're growing like weeds.
What are their ages now?
I feel like I'm just running around like a chicken with my head cut off after work to sports. So they're all in sports. My daughter's 11 in basketball and dance. My son's 8, almost 9. So he's in comp baseball, plays basketball, football, and then my little one's 6, and he's a boy too. So
Would you agree dance is way more intense than anything else?
Yes.
Is she at that
Time
level right
consuming.
now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is very
Yeah, my
intense.
daughter, she does dance, and I swear there's nothing. There's no football. There's no baseball. There's no basketball. That can
It's-
possibly
and you can't
gymnastics
miss.
probably similar.
And you can't
Yeah.
miss. It's like it's very.
Yeah, I think dance. I think it seems like the parents for dance is a lot more intense. Gymnastics pretty easy. We just drop her off. She's there for 4 hours a day. I mean, she works really hard, but from a parent standpoint, it's easy.
How old's your daughter that's in gymnastics?
She's 9.
That's
Our
fun.
kids are almost the same ages.
Yeah.
Mine are 11, 9, and 7.
Yeah, it's almost identical.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, I mean, recently over the last year, I switched companies, and I mean, over the last couple months, honestly. So went
So,
from
dude,
one
you've been
pest
doing
control company to the other.
Yeah, you've been doing door to door for a lot of years. How many years you been doing door to door now?
15 years.
15. You're one of the rare few, dude, that's stuck
I
around
know.
for 15 years.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
I've
awesome,
thought
bro.
about that. No, I'm blessed and grateful, and I love the door-to-door industry.
And it's translated into a lot of real estate for you, too.
A lot of real estate. Yep. So I'm a big real estate investor. Yeah, over the last 3 years or 2 years since I was on last, I've gotten big into investing into land. So I bought 280 acres up in Enoch, just in
Like
Cedar City.
future plans to develop it? Because you can't depreciate land.
Yeah. We're the master plan should get approved over the next week or two, and
Dang.
it should be able to do 900 units
Wow.
on the 280 acres,
In
which would be
Enoch.
cool. Enoch, yeah.
Pretty hopeful about the growth in Enoch, I guess, huh?
A lens is getting built on the corner of the land right now.
What?
So
Your land?
Yeah.
You found a Lynn's tenant to come and build on your land?
No, not on our land. Just there's a lens just on the very really close to where our land is that's getting built right
wow.
now, and an Ace Hardware. So there's a lot of developing going
Dude,
around
that's
right
incredible.
around it. Yeah,
So did you know that before you bought the land, or it happened afterwards?
we knew before.
Okay.
Yeah, we had heard that it was
Oh,
going to
so
happen. We
that's
didn't know
like-
how
it's
quick.
almost
and it
like
happened
insider
faster.
trading.
Yeah.
Trading.
Yes. So
People
that was
listening in are
cool.
going to be going, "Wait, isn't the city of Enoch like? How did you buy a piece in the city of Enoch?"
It was on the MLS.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was on the MLS, and we found it, negotiated a killer price. Real estate's a cheat code. That's what I tell people. And my
Yeah.
dad taught me this, and I'm extremely grateful for him as a mentor. A crazy story, and this is where multifamily's gotten a little harder over the last couple of years with interest rates, right? So I'm like, I'm just going to start buying land and projecting growth and just sit on it. My dad sold where the airport in St. George is at. He bought that land out there for $10,000 and sat on it for 18 years, sold it for $6 million.
Wow.
So crazy story of just sitting on land and
Back when it was like remote control race car,
yeah,
right? That's what
literally.
they used to do up there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was nothing. And he's like, who knows if anything will ever even come of this? And
But
then
it's 10 grand. So,
10 grand.
Yeah.
And the government came and said, hey, we're going to build an airport out here, and we'll pay $6 million for it. So super cool story, and that was really intriguing to me. So I bought the land in Enoch. I bought 180 acres in right outside of Provo, which that'll be an exciting piece, and then 100 acres in Hurricane. So, and I partnered with a bunch of people in that, and with my brothers and a friend in the other one. So it's a lot of change in the real estate investing, and then I switched pest control companies to a local company here in St. George, which I'm stoked about, called EnviroGuard with the Carter brothers, which we were just talking about. They're two dudes that are just 10 out of 10 humans, and excited to work with them and build something special.
Way cool.
Yeah.
So you didn't start off in real estate. You started off door to door.
Yep.
I think sometimes people want to maybe start at the end.
Yep.
Maybe you should talk about that a little bit. Help some people out to know there's a lot of people in the door-to-door space right now, or sales or whatever. And I think sometimes they try to put the cart before the horse instead of getting laser focused at something for long enough to get to a place where they can start making good decisions.
Yeah.
Maybe with investing.
Yeah, people
and
look
whatever.
at, and like yourself, I watched Jeff from afar for a lot of years in social media, and super inspiring watching what he did, and then hearing his story and how many years he put in. People want to skip steps, right? People want to skip steps. They want to become a VP without doing what it takes to make what a VP is. And you can't skip those steps. And yeah, you just nailed it. I started going door to door. I knocked for 10 summers. I would move my family out to a location, my wife, and then we ended up having kids. I'd take my kids out. We've lived all over the country, from, San Francisco to New York to Texas to Chicago. We'd pick a location where our company was. We'd move there for the summer for 4 months, and I'd go door to door and sell pest control. I became really obsessed with it because you can make anywhere from $300 to $500 in commission per sell, and if you can get really good at it, you can go out and sell 5, 6, 7, 8 in a day. Windows for you guys. I've heard people just absolutely destroying it, and we're all here and in the sales game because we love betting on ourselves and a commission-based job.
As you were doing that, traveling, I mean, that's a lot of travel for your family.
Yeah.
And I know your attitude on life, your outlook on life, you're just positive. Were you able to keep your family excited about doing that every summer? Like, hey, we're going to go to Baltimore this year and make it and how did you do that? Because I think that's a huge thing. You can either look at stuff and go, oh, I have to do this, or man, we get to go do this.
Yeah. No, a big tip, and I've heard Jeff talk about this, is getting on the same page with your spouse and understanding why you're doing what you're doing and what it can translate to, and getting on the same page with your goals and your vision. And my wife was an absolute rock star in doing this, and she was able to look at the opportunity instead of like an obligation. She looked at it as an opportunity to go travel and live somewhere new and experience new things and create memories, where I've worked with a lot of married couples and it was the opposite, and it made it a terrible experience for the spouse.
What do you attribute it to, though? Do you feel like it was just her, she's just naturally optimistic, or do you feel like you contributed to that in just the way that you cast the vision?
I think it's a combination for sure.
Yeah.
I think I saw that in her, that she would be super supportive and a ride or die from the start. But it wasn't
the right partner.
You got to choose the right partner. It is. And it wasn't always that way. Honestly, her dad and her brothers played a big role in helping her understand that the sacrifice is worth it, because they do 9-to-5 jobs, and she wasn't accustomed to a job that's commission based. She grew up with her dad. There's just 9-to-5, and when they found out how much I was making, I don't think they understood how much I was making, but
Her
they
dad's
found out.
a doctor, isn't he?
No, he's what is he? He was the CEO of a publicly traded company
that's
up
what it
north.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I started making a couple $100,000 while I was going to school, and then when they found that out, they're like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you do whatever it takes. Like, you go out there and you'd be the ultimate cheerleader." Like,
You
that's
didn't give your wife
insane.
any reason to doubt.
Yeah.
No,
first of all,
correct.
right?
Yeah, I think a big point is a lot of people that are trying to get their spouses to support them, but then they're not delivering. So then they're not going out and actually getting the results, which I'm sure you've probably seen that too. You went out with dudes that were married and maybe their spouse wasn't on board, but you were out producing them. You were actually doing the work, and that guy was a low performer. You're a high performer. And, of course, your wife is going to be fired up when you go deliver, right?
Yeah, you got to turn them into a believer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's an important thing. So you guys moved all over. She's totally supportive, all in. When did it start changing to where you started deciding that you were going to go build a team? You know, we were talking about before this that one of the things you're great at is recruiting and building. And it's always interesting to me because everybody that can sell has the ability to build a team, but you'll have some people say, oh, I just like sales and I don't know if I want to recruit. But then you have some people that say, man, I want to go recruit and build a team, and they were almost always really good at sales as well. When did that shift for you? Was it early on? Did it happen throughout your career? Did you see somebody provide an example? What happened?
Proximity is power, right? That's why I'm so grateful to be in this room with you guys, because high tide raises all ships. And when I became a manager, you hit a tier. I'm sure you guys have in your company a tier that you got to hit as a salesperson to be qualified to become a manager, right? I became that manager, went on a manager trip, and just the people I was around on that trip, it opened my eyes as I started asking questions. And that's an underrated thing that's not talked about enough. Ask questions. Like, ask questions. Ask questions to your manager and to your higher ups. So I started asking questions.
Just curious about what the next level is, right?
Income, yeah. Like, what's the next level? How fast can I get there?
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like? What do they make? Right? Is it possible for me? What do I have to do to get there? And I started asking questions.
Big difference between asking questions and gathering the information and just always observing.
Yeah. A lot of people just sit there and observe, and they don't ever ask questions. And so I started asking questions, and they're like, oh, yeah, you can become a divisional manager if you do X, Y, Z, if you're able to build leaders and recruit, and then you can become a regional manager. I'm like, well, how much do regionals make? They're like, 500,000. I'm like, how fast do you think I get to a regional manager? They're like, oh, if you do X, Y, Z, you get there pretty quick. And
now you had a vision for yourself.
Yeah, I had a vision. And you can tell just by how people, honestly, how they walk, their urgency, how they carry themselves. If they're slunched over and they're pouty, most don't have vision. They have no vision. They're just going in their day to day, not knowing what they're aiming at. You got to know what you're aiming at, and that starts with questions. And so I started asking questions, and gave me a really clear vision of what was possible. And that's when it changed, when I asked questions.
So what year in your career was it? So you started sales, how many years in? Was it early on, like year 1, year 2, year 3?
It was year 3. So the first couple of years, I was like, I'm just coming out here to make money. You know, like, I'm just a college kid. Like, who knows?
Playing basketball at the time,
yep,
right?
Playing college basketball and football here at Dixie State. And, my first couple of years, it was just a way to make money to get by. But then I asked some questions. I was like, wait, what? You can make what? You know, if you're a good leader and if you can recruit and train well, you get overrides. And anyway, I got really fired up because at the same time I was learning about real estate and the power of real estate over time. If I can just go, to me, it's like, dude, if I can just buy 10 properties, put them on a 15-year loan, by the time I'm 35, I'm going to have 10 properties paid off. I just got to do what I got to do to get the initial down payment to buy them and get them financed. So I started learning about real estate. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, read a couple books, and I mean that's another cheat code right there is educate yourself.
Mm-hmm. So year 3 you start learning how to recruit, because then you're talking about moving your family for 4 months, but you weren't only working 4 months a year at that point, because then you come home and then you're starting to recruit and build and gear up for the next summer. Is that right? So then how many months a year were you actually working?
12.
So you're working 12 months a year? Because this is where a lot of people don't really think about taking their business to the next level. And I'm trying to get to this point where Brandon was talking about getting to the finish line. If you go back to the beginning, so here you are, now you make a decision, you're going to go build a team, but now you're working 3 times as much, because in the summers you're just working for 4 months a year. But now you decide you're going to go build a team. So now you're working 12 months a year. But then how many hours a day are you working? Because when you start recruiting and build a team, it's
people
constant, right?
Yeah, it's constant. And to me, it was easy math. How many people put, like in my field, are putting when it's not the selling season, it's not the summer. How many people are putting in 40 hours a week recruiting and training their reps?
Hardly anybody.
Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it was such easy, like, oh, if I'm going to give myself a chance, I just got to go clock the hours and get good at it and get reps in, right? Just get
your
reps
mentality
in.
went from this is something I'm going to do for a season to this is a career.
Yeah.
This is a business.
Yep.
Well, and you just said something about putting in the hours and getting in the reps. And I think when it comes to recruiting, it's interesting because especially, in sales, especially in door-to-door, a guy who gets good at his pitch, he'll go run through hundreds of doors a day and then massage it and get better at it so he can get his results better. And then you start talking to them about recruiting, and they go, oh, well, I'm just not good at that. Well, of course, because you got on the doors and you knocked tens of thousands of doors to get good at that process, but you've done 12 interviews and think that you're going to be good at it.
Dude, I've thought about it a lot, and I think the difference is in sales, you get paid right away. In recruiting, you don't. Right?
Delayed gratification.
It's all back end.
Yeah, it's all back end.
Mm-hmm.
And most people can't see that far and like think that way.
Yeah, it goes right back to vision.
Yeah, it goes back to
Like,
vision.
can you see yourself just repeating this process of being a salesperson for the rest of your life? Or can you get a little vision and see yourself putting in some work for some future payoff?
Yep.
Well, and here's what's interesting to that point is, so if you were to say in your career, maybe you know it exactly, or maybe not, but if you were to say, okay, this is how much money I made from my personal sales, and then this is how much money I made through overrides and building a team, what percentage of your income came from personal sales, and what percentage of your income over your career has come from team?
I would say personal sales was probably 20% of my income. 80%'s been, and the cool thing with the override too, which I was able to understand that it's like people think, oh, it's not a residual, like go do insurance. No, the override is residual because they come, if you give them a good experience, they come back.
Yep.
Right. And then it snowballs.
Yep. And if they grow, it grows.
There you go.
That's
it grows.
That's that entitlement. Everybody's looking for the passive, like the passive, true passive.
Yeah.
That just doesn't exist. There's always going to be a level of maintaining it.
Well, and it doesn't matter what anybody says, whether it's insurance or anything. You still got to keep the customer on the books.
Yep.
All right, so it still takes effort and energy in order to do that, just like you would have to with a relationship with a rep to come back, right? Which means you got to provide value.
Yep.
And so the difference is one is value with a customer, or one is value with a rep who can also bring in more reps that brings in more sales.
Yep. And you touched on it, like someone that's really good at sales. They put all the work in. They went through the hard times. They did all the reps. For recruiting, it drives me insane because they can do it. A good salesperson can be a great recruiter.
It's a sales process, right?
It's like, dude, you have this dog in you on the doors where you'll go and hound and push through objections and stay with the customer, and you just have this persistence. And then when it comes to recruiting, you don't even try.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, just transfer that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to hear your perspective on this. So often, I'm sure you saw this hundreds of times, get a brand new greenie in, they're excited. They learn the fundamentals. They learn a pitch. They go hit doors. They have some success right away, right? They're not very wise yet.
Yep.
And they have all this success. They start having success, and they start to think, wonder if there's an easier way to do this, or more. Maybe I could buy some leads. Maybe I can.
Yep.
Maybe comment on that. How important is it for people to stay? I always say dumb like a fox.
Yep.
Stick with. I hear them say it all the time. It's been the same pitch for 30 years.
Yeah, you don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, the market's been saturated for 100 years. Anyway, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I call it the honeymoon phase, right? Like on the honeymoon phase of your marriage, the first little bit, it's all fun and games. It's great, right? And it's the same thing in sales where at the start, you're just kind of prancing around because you're so excited to be there for the opportunity. And then you get punched in the mouth and you have 3 hard days in a row. How are you going to show up the next day? It's the same thing in the marriage. Right? You have hard days. You disagree down the road. You find stuff out. There's things that bug you, right? How do you react and how do you show up? So to your point, for me, it was always the basics. It was always the basics. I touch a door before 10:30. I take a half-hour lunch, and I knock to dark. That's it. Like, it's that simple. How many people do that?
Almost
Hardly
nobody.
anybody.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
It was so easy for me. I love that. Dumb as a fox. That's literally, Like, I am not a smart human. I got a 15 on the ACT.
But I would say you are.
Yes.
And the difference is,
once again, not a smart human. I don't consider myself book smarts. I'm extremely street smarts, and I'm very, and I started realizing I'm actually really, really smart.
Yeah. Because
just not in the traditional sense.
People say that all the time.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, what is being smart? Okay, if being smart is, unzipping your head, filling it full of a bunch of stuff, and zipping it back up, and some knowledge. But to me, being smart is applied knowledge, where you learn something, you can go apply it, and you can use it to generate revenue that makes your family's life better, right? To me, anybody that knows how to do that at a large scale, I don't care what your IQ is. You're obviously pretty dang smart, especially if you've separated yourself from the crowd, because most people just don't do it, right? So you started doing these things, stick to the fundamentals, you pay the price over summer, you make a decision to become a recruiter. That has led to 80% of your income over your career. Did your wife always support you? Was there a time that, early on she said, hey, I don't know about this, maybe let's do it for 2 or 3 more summers, and you guys had to make a commitment that this is going to be my career, that I'm going to do this is who I am? Like, where did it, because obviously now it's very clear to me, it's your identity, it's who you are, it's what you do. When did that transition happen? Was it a conversation? Because I feel like for me, there was a turning point between Kelsey and I where she realized, like, dang, all right, this is who Jeff is, and there's no turning it off, Did that ever happen to you? Do you feel like you guys had that moment where she realized, like, okay, this is who Mitch is, this is what he's going to do for his career, and rather than, I see some spouses like almost, embarrassed maybe that their spouse is doing door-to-door? But, I mean, to me, I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I get to represent, and I think that is a great separator too, as well. So did that happen for you in your career?
Yeah, I would say once again, 3-4 years when I pushed all the chips in and she saw how fired up I was and how happy I was, she became full support, like a full-on cheerleader for me. And I was thinking of the question that you just asked me.
Why were you so happy, do you think? What made you happy?
It's progress, right? Like, it's in the progression. And that's where people miss the boat.
And you went all in, too.
All
in. Yeah.
Like Kobe Bryant's retirement speech is one of my favorites. When his jerseys were hung, he looked at his daughters, and he says, hey, this is cool. Like, this is awesome. But it wasn't about this. He's like, it was about the journey. He's like, it was the early mornings, the late nights. Like, that's what it was all about. And that's where the happiness is. And anyway, yeah, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Find something that's going to push you and try you. Dream big, have huge goals, chase them down. And I mean, we've all been there. We've all accomplished them. And you get there, and then what?
Yeah. Yeah. I see so many who think there's got to be some magical trick to it, right? There's got to be something different.
Yep.
It's like it's just those fundamentals, and you just did them. You just did them, and then they worked. And others that have done them, it's worked for them too, but most just don't do it. It's almost like they think it can't be that easy.
Yeah.
Well, I just think people fail to commit. They fail to really, you talk about pushing all the chips in, but how often do you talk to somebody who says, man, I'm going all in. Like, I'm going to commit to this thing, whether it's a marriage or getting in shape or building a business or being a great father. The people that have success are people that just say, I'm going to do this, and there's no other option, right? I'm committing, and I'm going all in. And that's why I asked you that question, if that ever happened to you and then with you and your spouse, because I think once you decide that, hey, this is my identity and this is who I am, then you don't try to, because I know for a lot of times, and I'll never forget, when I saved my first $1 million, I called Brandon right after, because I thought, man, that if I could get this certain amount of money saved, I was like trying to put out this feeling inside of my soul, like, man, if I could just save a certain amount of money, or maybe I don't have to do this anymore. And I'm always trying to find a way. I was always trying to find a way out of it. In fact, for my first 3 or 4 years in business, and I think I saved my first $1 million after I was there for like 4 years. And so I'm like, man, if I could get $1 million cash saved, where I have it in my bank account, and I could put out this feeling of like, man, do I have to do this forever? And then I got it, and I remember I called Brandon. I remember where I was at. I was at a Maverick, and I called Brandon.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, dude, like, something's wrong. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, I've been fighting for this goal forever, and I thought that this feeling would go away. And I'll never forget, he said, Jeff, you shouldn't be calling me that feeling didn't go away. He goes, the day you should call me is the day that feeling does go away. That's when you've got a problem.
So good.
And I started realizing, like, dang, like, this is who I am. Like, this is a blessing to have this feeling in my gut. Like, I need to go accomplish more with my life.
Yep.
And so I made a decision that day, rather than trying to put it out, that I was going to pour gasoline on it. And I think that's really when I committed to just being the best that I could be. Before that, it was all, I wanted to make a lot of money and I wanted to build an organization, but I was doing it for this exit or this external validation.
Hitting a certain milestone. And
Yeah.
you thought you'd be good.
Yeah,
Just like the Ferrari.
exactly. So it's interesting to see that these fundamentals, it's like they happen with every single person who has achievement in anything, right? Whether it's business or family or whatever. There's a moment where they make a commitment. So you just made a big change.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that wasn't a comfortable thing, right? You've had 15 years of a career. And, after, what's crazy is I think my career was almost exactly 15 years, and I made a big change too. We sold our business in 2020, and, I never thought that was going to happen. So what did that process look like, man? You made this huge change, and I'm sure it was scary. What caused you to make that change, and why did you do it?
Yeah. So legally, I can't talk too much on it.
Yeah,
But
it's understandable.
But where I'm really fired up is the chance to create something that I have ownership, like real ownership in, like on the LLC ownership, which excites me, and the ability to help, the A players that I work with have the same opportunity fires me up. And finding a company here locally where I've specialized in pest control, in EnviroGuard with Nate and Luke Carter, that are just incredible humans and have already built something really cool, and them letting me come on and join them. I'm excited. Scared, yes, right? In a way, starting over, yes. But I think in 3 years we'll have something that's going to be epic, and I'm more fired up for the story and my back against the wall and
Got to go do it again.
Yeah, got to do it again.
See what you're made of, man.
I love that.
Like that's where I get really I'm waking up excited. And one of my mentors, one of his definitions of happiness is waking up excited. Like that simple. Like, are you waking up excited?
It's a pretty good gauge right there.
That's a good gauge of success.
I think another gauge of success is realizing there's never an end game.
Yes.
When you're younger, you think, when's my end game? When can I just get done? When can I retire, right? I want to retire.
You constantly
early.
hear people talking about it. That's
All
what
the
they
time.
think that they're going for.
And I think that a big stage of success when you finally go, I don't even want an end game. I want progression. I want to just keep getting up every day, have something to go for, have something to fight for, because that's living, right?
Yes.
And the older I get, the more I realize how crucial that is. Because when I was younger, I always thought, I just want to get financially independent.
I want to get 35 and retire and just golf all day. Like that's
not the answer.
That's not the answer.
You must really understand that because you're really old. Right?
I know, man. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
I experienced the other one, and I'm like, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
No,
Yeah,
honestly,
literally.
I've watched you guys, all of you, and with you joining JKR, I've watched you, and you guys are a little older than me, and this jumps played a role in watching people like yourselves, where you're back in the game because you love it and it's progression, right? And that was part of my decision making of going with a small company, thinking like, okay, hey, I can be here for 10, 15 years and build something epic, and have the opportunity to keep showing up and working and building and building and building. So anyway, it's cool to watch you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate
awesome.
that. Yeah,
It's where the energy comes from.
Yeah.
I get energy from my family, but man, do I ever get some energy from building something with people that I enjoy being around and impacting people's lives.
It's the best.
Changing, like all the new people that come in, they were on this path like a blue collar path, 9 to 5, not a whole lot of optimism in their future. And we shine a light on what is possible for them.
Yeah, it's a privilege. That's what
It's such an incredible privilege. And I was going to ask you earlier, because it's such in leadership, it's such a a balancing act with people, because I personally, I feel like I need to help everybody. It's like my obligation. I need to help everybody.
Yep.
Almost to a point where it freaking wears me out sometimes. But it's so cool to have an experience like I bet your leaders had with you. Seeing you come in as just a punk-ass kid first couple of years. You're probably pretty good, but not a lot of vision. And then they just planting those seeds and putting that time in. And all of a sudden, Mitch just like,
Yep.
But where does it, you keep pouring into one person, or is it like, what's the balance between a ton of people and one person and catching that one guy catches his stride?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, the 20-80 rule has always been something that I live by. 20% are going to do 80% of the production. Like, you got to identify the top 20%, right? And it's not saying that you leave the 80% by the wayside, but you can't.
Where'd
you
you
can't
get that
want
one?
it.
Where'd you
can't
get that
want
from?
it.
The 80-20. Where'd you get it from?
I
Was it
don't
a
know.
book you read?
Yeah, I think just a book or mentors that have taught me from
Probably
the start.
Maxwell.
It's
Is he
the
the
Pareto.
Maxwell.
It's the Pareto principle. It's
All
been
right.
around for.
It is a Pareto
Yeah,
principle.
it's been around for a long time.
I mean,
But it was a coach's book that I read. I think it was Urban Meyer's book. Was it Urban
yeah,
Meyer?
above the
Maybe.
line probably, or
Above the line, yes. That was it.
incredible book. I love that, and I was taught that in this job. Like, hey, identify your top 20% because you can get lost with the 80% because you want to help them so bad, but you want it more than them, and that can't be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew this. So, 1896, an Italian economist, Vilfredo Pareto, came out with the Pareto principle. 1896.
But the way that Urban Meyer talks about it is it's a little bit different than the traditional, because he takes his 20% and he pours into them, and then he has that 20% pouring into the 80%.
It's awesome.
And if you think about it, our time is extremely valuable, and we want to spend it where it's going to make the biggest impact. But then we want to teach our people to do the same thing. And the 80% is part of their 20%. So it's just like the trickle effect. You pour your time here, and then you teach your people how to do the same thing. And then it just trickles down the organization.
Yeah, it's very good. Very well said. Yes, that's who
It's
I focus
powerful.
on as I'm growing and looking for people that I can impact that could end up having a big impact on their group. I'm big into sports, and you look at like coaches and their tree, and the great coaches have an incredible tree. Like the Bill Belichick's, he has a lot of coaches that are coaching.
A lot of additional levels of leadership.
Yes. That's the kind of leader I want to be, in the legacy I want to leave when all's said and done, where helped a lot of people level up and change their lives, just like you just said.
How many guys do you work with right now?
400 or 500.
400 or 500.
Yeah.
But imagine if you hadn't developed leadership while building that team. It would be totally personality-based, and the work that you would still be required to do with 400 or 500 people would just be too much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But because you've spent the time and you've developed people and you've built belief in those other leaders that were coming up that wanted to live a similar lifestyle, man, you've built a system of leaders and additional leaders.
Yep. I'm trying to think of a question that one of my sales reps, he's like, hey, what's your biggest advice? And he just asked me this, and touching on what we're talking about in leading and growing and getting to the point where you're able to have such a successful organization, right? And my advice to him is you have to live an inspired life. Like, you have to. Like, you got to be a A+ dad, A+ friend. You got to be an A+ human, and then you got to outwork everyone. Like, as a leader, when I was out knocking every summer, there was no question, no doubt. If someone came in and said, who's the hardest worker on this team? Everyone would say Mitch. Like, no doubt, right? First one out, last one in. And if you want to be a great leader and you want to be respected, you got to live an inspired life, and then you have to lead from the front. You got to outwork everyone. You can't ask anyone to do something that you're not doing at a higher
people
level.
Look for shortcuts.
Yeah.
Like, we're telling them straight up, this is what it takes.
Yeah, this is
It's really as simple as that.
Here's the blueprint.
There's no substitute for the hard work.
Yep.
They're just you're never going to find it. Don't even bother looking.
Yeah, but the right ones see it. And
I was going to say, they sniff it out.
Yep, and they know it. And a lot of times, you talk about who you spend your time with. It's like when you are that person, the right ones are attracted to that. And so I don't even think a lot of times you don't even necessarily have to choose who to spend your time with. It's you live this life and the right ones are inspired and attracted to it. And naturally
So
you
good.
end up spending time and energy and effort into people that are already attracted to the lifestyle that you're living. And so by default, you end up spending time. Now, you got to be wise with your time, because there are some people that will take it, if you're not wise with it. But at the same time, I think that's how a lot of time that's how I've led. It's like, because I couldn't agree more. In fact, I just did a call earlier today, and it was a lot on that what you just said. And talked about there's two things you got to do. One is you got to have a crusade. You got to have something you're fighting for, and then you got to sell the dream. People want to be a part of something where you're building something they're proud of. They can go conquer something big. They can fight a war together, like especially in door-to-door. We're a bunch of dudes, hard charging. We want to go accomplish something big, and that's the crusade. But then you got to sell a dream,
So cool.
and you got to sell the dream through constantly trying to improve your life. And people will join you that are doing better than you, as long as they see you progressing in a way where they go, eventually that dude's going to blow past me if I don't join him, because a lot of times, I've heard the saying, people say, oh, you can't sell something you don't own. If you ain't living the dream, you can't sell it. And I just disagree. As long as you're showing up every day, you're becoming, you're getting physically fit, you're fueling your body, you're, a great husband, you're making and saving money, you're being wise with it, you're treating people good, and you're just trying to get better. I think naturally the right people, regardless of where they're at in life, are attracted to that person, right? And then what retains them is your ability to lead from the front.
Yep.
Which is another thing, because you see on social media in business, like there's some people that are really great at marketing, and then you get to know them and you realize like, oh, that's really all they're good at is marketing, because the reality is totally different from what we see, right? And so I always tell people, you got to be great at the attracting or the marketing part, which is the life that you live, in my opinion. But then you got to retain people through leading from the front and being able to help them progress in their life and their careers.
Yep,
right?
you got to walk the walk, and you got to be likable.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing that isn't talked about enough. Like in today's day and age, you have to be likable.
Mm-hmm.
You have to relate. You have to be a person that they can talk to, right? I had a train of thought, which you were just saying, which was so good. I lost it.
What do you like to do for fun? He was talking about the dream. And you like sports.
Yeah, big sports guy.
You like hunting.
Love hunting.
We need to talk about some of this stuff more.
I saw that.
This is good too.
Dude, I went to Russia last year with my dad.
I saw
most
you should talk about that for a minute.
epic.
Yeah, I would like to.
Like a sheep hunt?
Yeah, big
I
horn sheep.
I saw that
I
Buster
shot
brothers
snow
were
sheep,
showing
right?
off that you shot.
Yeah, did you see that? Blair's an idiot.
Was
My
it
brother
really his?
Blair. I don't know. I don't know whose it was. It wasn't mine, though.
Okay.
I ain't shooting a little 2-point, I promise. I don't know why it was in there, but my dad was making us rearrange his hunting room, all his heads, because he went to New Zealand recently. He went to Russia, so we have to jam-pack him in more.
Did you go to the Kamchatka? Is that the name of that?
Kamchatka.
Yeah.
Yep.
Snow sheep.
Yep.
And brown bear.
Yep.
Moose.
Caribou.
And you got to fly all the way around the world to get there, right? Because there's no
Yes.
port of entry from the west.
It was a gnarly flight to get over
So
there.
how did you guys do over there?
Oh, it was amazing. Dude,
Yeah.
it's surreal. Like you're in a chopper because you can take a chopper in Russia and you can go.
And they love you. The
spot
Russians
stock.
love you over there. Love hunters, right?
Yes, love it. No, it was a surreal experience.
Who did you go with? Who were your?
So my dad.
Your outfitters, I mean.
Oh, I can't remember the name of the outfitters.
Okay.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, you go and take a chopper in the middle of nowhere, and there's a little cabin out there, and had a sauna in it. It was freaking awesome. And you're just in the snow, like Rocky status.
What do you learn from an adventure like that? Going out with your brothers and your dad, and what are some lessons, life lessons?
Yeah, life lessons is like do what it takes to put yourself in a position to make epic memories with your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be part of your why.
When you're young enough to do it.
Yes. Like do something right now, make enough money, invest it wisely, and then set a time aside to create memories.
There's a 2-week trip probably-ish.
Yeah. It was like 10 to 12 days.
It's awesome.
And I'll the rest of my life, right? I'll remember that.
You guys got moose?
Moose, caribou, brown bear, and sheep.
All of you got one?
No,
Yeah.
my dad shot all 4 of those. I
Okay.
shot a brown bear and a sheep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
It ain't cheap over there.
No.
My wallet's not as deep as my dad's. So.
Yeah, I get it. But they're giant moose and they're giant brown bear.
Oh, it's like on steroids.
But
It's just
price-wise,
surreal.
it's better than like Alaska.
Yeah, it is. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
So it's a good way to get it done if someone's wanting to get it done.
Yep.
Did
Big
you shoot
facts.
it with a rifle? Shot the bear with a rifle?
Bow.
You got it with the bow?
That
Shot
is
my bear
awesome.
with a bow.
Yes.
Just trot
Up
towards me in
close
the
and
snow.
personal.
45 yards. Just
Did it take off or did it just what?
it went for a little bit. It went running and then just collapsed. You could see that it was hit
Yeah.
good.
Good job.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And then I
The-
went to Wisconsin and shot a whitetail with my bow
Heck yeah.
a few months ago, which was cool.
Good deal.
What kind of bow do you
Job.
have?
Hoyt, the newer Hoyt I just bought.
Great choice.
Just got into bow hunting, so
Yeah. Yeah.
The-
They're trying to
the
get me to move
RX-10?
over.
yeah, yes, the newest. Yeah, is RX-10 or RX? Was it an 8? I don't know. I'll have to go look at it.
RX-10's the newest one,
That's
but
the
they're all
brand
they're
new
all
one.
nice.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
They're all
it's
good.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's like dream big, and it takes money.
It does.
That's what people look at money and want to put a stigma and something about. It's money. Money can be evil. Like, no, money will magnify who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Money gives you an opportunity to impact at the highest level.
Those experiences are just priceless too. Just getting out,
it's-
whether it's hunting or whether it's something else, but just
Yeah.
getting out there with your family and your loved ones and
The
doing hard
best.
things. You get back and you go, man, I'm so glad. I don't regret any of the stuff I've done. That I've almost didn't want to do because it was inconvenient. I wanted to, but I was building businesses.
Yep.
And I'm glad I took the time to do it.
Yep.
And even now, I got to make sure I prioritize some of that with my boys as they're getting older, or with my
Yeah.
buddies,
Have to.
because you got to. I mean, because
And it's
we're
a-
getting older, right?
And it's a recharge.
you
For
should
too.
really-
yourself, bro. I'm on the Benjamin
I mean,
Button plan.
my-
I
my-
get younger every year.
My prime isn't still 15
All
years.
that gray popping up in your beard says otherwise, bro.
Dude,
Yeah.
it ain't great.
We
It's
still
just-
got time.
It's
but-
just shining different off the light. That's all.
Look at you three, fit as all get out, man. I'm sitting here like, oh, jeez.
yeah, our best days are still ahead, I think.
Love that.
Oh, for
for
sure.
sure.
So what else, dude? Let's close with this because Brandon talked about the finish line at the beginning. And you talk about some of this stuff hunting, which is awesome and it's expensive. But you never regret all the doors that you knocked and all the people that told you no and all the guys that quit on you that told you they were going to show up for the summer and didn't and all this stuff that happened. You don't get to that cabin in the middle of Russia and go, man, I wish I would have knocked less doors, right? So what are some other things that you feel like, man, has paid off? What else has door-to-door and sales and leadership, what else has it done for you in your life?
Freedom. Like freedom's taking my kids to school, coaching my kids. I coach my kids in everything, all sports.
Anybody from St. George know that's like a Fry thing. If the Fries show up to play your kids at any sports,
Hey,
they're
we're
probably gonna
bringing
lose.
about to
we're
get
bringing
intense.
it. It's gonna get intense. I'm crazy. I'm way too intense, but I freaking love it. I just started on my dream house, so
Awesome.
just
Where
broke
at?
ground in the vineyards in Santa
Okay,
Clara.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Amazing.
All right. Yeah.
Full court basketball court, which will be dope.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
awesome.
indoor basketball court off my living room's always been a dream of mine. So
Right off the living
Super
room.
Cool.
yeah, you just go off the back and walk into the court. So I'm
So
gonna be
cool.
training my kids every morning.
So cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
gonna be
How long
epic.
did it take you to design it?
2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Can you still dunk?
I can still dunk.
Dude, how old are you?
37,
It's pretty good. How tall?
6'2".
Dang, dude.
I'll still 360.
That's
yeah.
legit.
Yeah, it's fun.
Wow.
Trying to stay young.
Hmm.
But yeah, you gotta have a vision. You gotta dream big, and Jefferson, you touched on it. You gotta find a group that's doing it the right way,
Mm-hmm.
and run with them. And I know you had a little crazy past too in high school. I got expelled from high school. I went to juvie when I was 17. I was running with the wrong group. I was doing drugs. I've read your book, where your story is insane, and anyone can do it. I'm a big believer in that. It's just a choice. It's a choice.
Redemption.
Change your environment. Like change your environment. It's just a choice, and get a clear vision.
Love
Love
that. Yep.
Well, great job, man. I'm proud of you, dude. Excited to see this new journey.
Yeah.
Excited for Luke and Nate as well, because I know I actually,
I'm not sure they know what they got themselves into.
dude,
Yeah.
I was working out.
About to get turned
I was
up.
working at Nate's fit. Nate played running back for
Yeah.
BYU. Like, the dude is jacked, right? He did 225, I think, 28 times.
Whoa.
it's awesome.
Yeah, like, dude's a unit. And he's like, we were working out this morning. He's like, man, I haven't worked out for a couple weeks. He's like, freaking Mitch and Yogi got me working too hard. We're recruiting, man. We're in the
That's
office,
awesome.
sun up to sundown, and I'm waking up excited. And that's what
Just a
life's
season,
all about.
man.
Yep,
It's all worth it.
it is.
Congrats, bro.
Yep.
Proud of you, man,
I
and
appreciate you guys.
future's bright, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming today.
yeah. Thanks for having me
Yeah,
on.
thank you.
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Well, thanks for joining us again for another episode of Solid, another great episode here. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share this with everybody you know, especially those who are serious about living a solid life. And until next time, stay solid.